Welcome to Bus Driver Life. In today's video, I will talk about the 5 things that bus drivers wish their passengers/riders knew. I'm a bus driver. I've been driving buses for about 18 years. I've driven school buses and transit buses. I currently drive in the Sacramento area of Northern California. I've driven for 2 transit systems in this area. So I know what goes on buses. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the first thing that I have on my list is this. If you're on a bus and the driver is sitting at a bus stop for a few minutes and there's nobody getting on or off the bus and you're like, why are we just sitting here? We're not sitting there to make you upset or to irritate you. Typically, we are sitting at the stop because we're running hot or early. Means the same thing. Sometimes people say I'm running hot. That just means I'm running early. So if it's a time point, a designated time point that's on the schedule, and we show up there a few minutes early to that time point, we are not supposed to leave that time point early. We have to sit there until the departure time and then leave. I know some people still don't believe that. They're like, that's dumb. I've been on a bus before and they just sat there and we were already late. I mean, I don't know why that happens, or maybe you didn't read the schedule correctly. I don't know, but generally that's why the bus will sit there. There can be other reasons, like maybe it's maintenance, or maybe they've received instructions to stay at that stop. Sometimes the police can be involved in an investigation, or they're trying to get somebody. And sometimes they'll call and say, hey, we need you to hold there until we show up. So that happens. But the main reason is schedule. Let's take a look at a few comments that I found lingering around the internet that people have made referencing this, either from bus drivers or passengers. Okay, this comment says, if the driver is ahead of schedule and he/she is at a timing point listed on the schedule, he/she is waiting there so that passengers who would be at the bus stop on time are still able to board. At least in Houston, so I guess this person is from Houston or currently lives there. At least in Houston, on Metro, drivers aren't allowed to be early. I would imagine this is the same on almost any sane system, unless frequency is such that it really does not matter. And yes, that's true, pretty much what I just said. Let's see what another comment says about this. Like I said in another comment, so I guess this person made another comment prior.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
The bus drivers in Denver will sit and wait at a stop even when they are late. Really? This too early stuff is nonsense. So he's saying this is nonsense that we're saying about being early. Okay, I guess. I have literally been on buses that were more than 20 minutes late and they were still sitting around waiting, sometimes up to 10 minutes at the stops. Really? I don't believe the bus was actually 20 minutes late and they were still waiting around unless they received certain instructions to do so. There could have been a much bigger problem going on in that case, so the bus had to wait, but it's not nonsense. That's why we sit and wait, because we're generally running early. As a matter of fact, we can get in trouble from our supervisors if we're leaving time points early. At the transit system I work for, they will call in on the radio if they catch you leaving early. If it's a supervisor that's in the field that sees you, or if they're monitoring us from the office, they will call and be like, hey, you left early, you need to watch your time, and we need you to pull over at the next stop and wait. And this person finishes their comment off with this wonderfully positive sentence right here. I think bus drivers are just naturally jerks. Thank you so much for that. So number 2 on my list is this. When you are trying to get your bus driver's attention while they are driving the bus, you have to realize that we are not able to turn around and make eye contact with you and have a full conversation with you because we're driving the bus. I've had passengers on my bus before get upset at me because I wouldn't look at them while I was talking.
Excuse me, look over here.
And I'm trying to, still engage with them and get them the information that they need, but I am like literally driving the bus and they're like, hey, I'm over here. And I'm like, well, hey, I'm driving. So did you want me to look at you instead of paying attention to the road?
Yes.
A few moments later.
Number 3 on my list of things that bus drivers wish that their riders, their passengers knew is that we love to dance on our breaks. When we have a break time, we dance. That's what we do. You can see this TikTok video playing of the bus driver dancing. That's what we do. We all do that. We dance. So When we get to the end of the line, when we get to the last stop, I need every single one of you that are still on the bus, get off the bus right away so that we can have our time and our space to dance in peace and without judgment. We will dance. That's how we get through the day. Am I telling the truth? No, I'm not. I just thought it was kind of funny. If you didn't think it was funny, you don't have a sense of humor. Moving right along. Number 4 on my list is this. Passengers get really upset at bus drivers sometimes when we have to make hard stops or when we have to brake hard, but you have to realize that there are certain things that happen that cause us to have to do that. There are times when people, cars, bicycles, whatever, they will jump in front of the bus and we have to stop really quickly. We're always watching and checking our mirrors and scanning and looking around, looking ahead, all that good stuff. And sometimes we have an obstacle in front of us and we'll have to stop really quickly. It's either hit that obstacle or stop. Like, take a look at this video really quick. I'm going to give you an example of a reason why we would have to make a hard stop. See? People get mad at us for making a hard stop because it was uncomfortable, and I understand that. But do you see what the idiot on the skateboard just did? Like, what other options would the bus driver have? If the driver would not have stopped the way they would have, then he probably would have hit the guy on the skateboard. Like, honestly, just watching that video, what was it that possibly made him think it was okay to do that? Like, what was it?
Was it cocaine?
So, safety tip, if you're driving a car, if you're walking, if you're riding a bike, please don't just jump right in front of a bus. It's not safe. We can't stop as fast as a car. It takes time to stop that large vehicle. It takes a lot of time. It takes even more time when the vehicle is full. So just keep that in mind. Let's move on to the next item on my list, which will be number 5. Listen, you can't pull the stop request. You cannot pull the stop request cord or the button, whatever you have on your bus. You can't pull that as I'm about to pass the bus stop that you need. So I'm getting ready to go, like I haven't passed it yet. Like, this is your bus stop, here's the bus, right? And I'm getting ready to pass it, then all of a sudden stop requested. And then I'm passing and you're like, bus driver, you're passing up my stop. I pulled the cord. But guess what? You have to request your stop prior to us getting to the stop, like way before we get there, so that we have enough time to stop the bus safely at the bus stop. Once I'm about to pass your stop up and you request that stop, it's too late for me to stop. I'm not about to make a hard stop because you decided to request your stop at the last minute. So you have to work with us so that we can work with you. It's our job to stop at the bus stop to let you off, but just let us know in due time. Do we make mistakes sometimes? Yes, we do. There are a few times that someone did request to stop in time and I still didn't stop, because when you're driving a bus, there's a lot of things that can distract you. So there have been times where someone hit stop request, then I have a passenger like come ask me something, like a different person, ask me questions, and then that'll have my attention because remember, my main focus is driving. And then I'm like, oh man, somebody want that stop. So we do make mistakes sometimes. I'm not saying that we don't, but just in general, the best thing for you to do is make sure you pull that cord in enough time for us to be able to stop safely. Don't pull it right as we get to the stop. That is too late. And you're probably just gonna make a trip down to the next stop, then you have to walk back. And I've had that happen plenty of times. And of course, I always get yelled at about it. People call me names and people use profanity at me because they did not request their bus stop in enough time for me to stop that huge 40-foot vehicle in enough time. So just keep that in mind, everybody. Can you do that for me and for every bus driver in the world?
No! No!
So tell me, what did you think of my list of 5 things that bus drivers wish their passengers knew? Guess what? I have a whole bunch more things that I can add to that list. So more than likely, I'm going to do a part 2. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Also, I'm celebrating hitting 600 subscribers. It's not a lot of subscribers, but I appreciate each and every single one of you. And it's amazing because I started at 0 and now I'm up to 600, like people that are interested in what I'm talking about. So I appreciate you and I hope that we can grow more. Here goes some shout outs, a few of my favorite comments that have been left on videos. Check it out and let me know in the comments if you seen your comment. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does.